Saturday, June 18th, 1988. An ambitious young reporter is found dead in the forest, a wad of cash stuffed in his mouth. The police? Baffled. Now, it's up to you investigators to reopen that case and see if you can do the job they couldn't do 33 years prior. In Cold Cases, A Story to Die For. Cold Case by Think Fun Games is a set of murder mysteries in which you're going to take on the role of investigators, opening up these cases, re-examining evidence, and trying to bring the culprits to justice. In this particular one, A Story to Die For, a young reporter was found shot in the woods, all right? And it's up to you to figure out, not only who did it, but their motives, why they did it, what they used to commit the murder, and how they got away with it. All right, let's open up this box and see what's inside. Now, first thing you'll notice about this game is this box is extremely thin, all right? Because all that has in it is one file. In that file, you're going to find lots of interview reports. All right, each comes with a little photo of the person being interviewed. All right, 8 of these total, ranging from 1 to 4 pages. So lots of reading. That's going to make up the majority of the game. Outside of that, you got some other bits of evidence. You're going to have, it's like crime scene photos, a couple pamphlet, a for sale sign thrown in with the evidence, your autopsy report, a couple odd letters, cover letter, and of course, always my favorite in these games is a newspaper clipping. All right, just one big one here. Now, this game is a little lighter on the components than a lot of the other murder mysteries you'll find. Not a whole lot of extra stuff, and everything is just paper or photo. You're also not going to find an answer sheet in here or a clue sheet. That is all done online, which makes it a little easier, a little nicer, although it also makes it so you have to have internet connection wherever you're at to play this game. Now, this particular case follows a pretty linear path. You'll have to read through a ton of those interviews. It's a lot of reading. It does help to trade off with who's reading it and who's taking notes, kind of, helps break it up a little bit that way. And after each reading, you're going to kind of sit and piece together what the people said and try to come up with a story of what you think happened, like what the motivations were and whatnot. It doesn't have a whole lot of the branching paths that you might find in other cases. You're pretty much all working together, reading one piece at a time, going over it, examining it. And then once you're done going through, then you'll have a little bit of the evidence that you'll be able to rummage through. That's probably where you'll break off, then maybe look at each piece individually. But outside of that, you're going to be working together, reading through the interviews, and trying to piece together just exactly what you thought happened. What were the events that took place. It was kind of, just like reading a story together. And depending on your reading comprehension, this case is going to probably take you about an hour to 90 minutes. It's not too tough or too long. Now, this is probably the easiest case that we've done. There's a lot of evidence to kind of point you in the right direction. So even if you do miss a couple things here and there, you're still probably going to be able to figure out the story. And, with the minimal amounts of evidence in the box, if you do miss it, it's a lot easier to go back and you'll see, you'll just cycle through and you'll find it eventually because, there's not a whole lot there, so you're not going to be missing out. We did get stuck on one part, and that was more of a reading comprehension error on my part than actually the game itself. So outside of that, it's a pretty easy game. As I stated before, this is probably the easiest and most linear case that I've done. It's more like reading and processing that than actually inspecting. So, if you got a group that prefers to read to each other like that, this is a pretty good case, pretty fun case. But, other than that, it doesn't seem to have the same amount of depth as a lot of the other ones have had, like the Hunt a Killer or the Unsolved Case Files or Deadbolt, whatever. It's not as deep as that. But there is a pretty good story. Like, I did like the story as it went through. Think of it as, or it kind of reminded me of that Sherlock Holmes consulting detective, but if you only went to the correct areas to read, you know? Like if you only took the correct path in that game, that's kind of how this game felt to me. So I did enjoy my experience playing this game, you know? The story was good, the characters were interesting, mystery was intriguing. In the end, though, it did kind of feel like a step back as far as these murder mystery cases are involved. Um, you know, it was a little light on components. It never felt overwhelming. Never really felt stuck. It just kind of flowed. So it felt a little bit basic. Uh, that being said, though, it was kind of nice not to have so much stuff thrown at me. Where like it was a little more relaxed and enjoyable than there was no really getting stressed out about it. And so you say I really did enjoy this case, and yeah, I would gladly play another cold case game again. All right, I hope this helps you. Let me know what your thoughts if you've played this game. Tell me what you think. Coach Troy here, and I'll see y'all next time.